Before anything else, I want to ask some question. Can you consider yourself as a responsible individual in your home and school? How about in your community? And why? For now, let us define the word social. If we hear the word social, it always has something to do with the word society. And society is a group of individuals living in the same community with the same belief and culture. What is responsibility? When we say responsibility, it is a task or duty that you are expected to do because it is morally right and legally required. If we put these two words together, we will end up having the term social responsibility. Social responsibility is the duty or task of the business or the organization to do no harm in the society and the environment. Since you have an idea of what we are going to talk about right now, let us proceed to the next part of this video and have a deeper understanding on the term social responsibility.
Several examples of responsibility. First is personal responsibility. The responsibility to do positive things with your abilities, talent, and resources. It means that a person is responsible for their own choices, and they need to be held responsible for the result of action, both morally and legally. The next one is moral responsibility. The duty to do good and to do no harm. Duty to do right thing that you know will benefit the others and not cause harm to them. Example, responsibility of the strong people to help the weak one. Next is the commitment. Responsibilities are often based on agreement. Making a commitment requires committed to something such as a person or an issue. Be sure to give it some thought before committing. A committing obligates you to do something. Example, when you accept a job, you're committing to come up and do the job well, and the employer is obligated to pay you. Next is the social responsibility. A responsibility not to harm people or planet on the path to your goals. The responsibility of individual or corporation for their duty and taking action that benefits the society. Example, working for the community such as voluntary, recycling, and giving blood donations. And the last one is the accountability. Accountability is the principle that you still have to answer for result if you delegate or outsource a responsibility. Accountability is what happens after a situation has occurred. It is how you respond and take ownership over the result. Example, a firm that outsources manufacturing is still responsible for partners that mistreat people or damage the environment, because that is the obligation as the part of the management. The features of responsibility. Number 1, responsibility comes from a superior-subordinate relationship. It tells that a superior must know how to have a good relationship with a subordinate because they are the one who obliged to do the task. If the superior does not have a good relationship to its subordinate, then it will be a bad impact to their work. Second, it always flows upward from junior to senior. The term indicates that the subordinate is bound by responsibility to complete the task that his superior has assigned to him. Therefore, it will be the juniors that complete the task and the senior have the power to command the junior. The third one, it arises from duty assigned. This means that the job responsibility comes from the duties assigned to a person that must be followed. Each of us has a different duty that has been assigned so that it can be completed. The fourth one, it cannot be delegated. This tells that a responsibility cannot be delegated to the subordinate by their direct superior unless it is authorized from the higher officials. And the last one, it is the obligation to complete the job as per instruction. This sentence states that it is the obligation to complete the work as per instruction by our manager or superior because it is our duty to follow them and they expect us to finish the job at the right time at the day that they assign.
We will define now the social responsibility. It is an ethical theory in which individuals are accountable for fulfilling their civic duty, and the actions of an individual must benefit the whole of society. So, it is said here that social responsibility is how you fulfill your duty as an individual in a society. These are our duties to do what is the best or good for the society, such as feeding the street children and doing cleanup drives in beaches. If we apply this in business, it is commonly known as corporate social responsibility or CSR. The crux of this theory is to enact policies that promote an ethical balance between the dual mandates of striving for profitability and benefiting society as a whole. So, what is being said here is that the theory is to enact policies to have an ethical balance in profiting of the company as well as benefiting the society. It's not just about getting rich, even though the business is causing severe pollution in the environment. What are the main benefits of social responsibility? Benefiting society and lessening the negative impacts on the environment are among the main benefits of social responsibility. Consumers are increasingly looking to buy goods and services from socially responsible companies, which can have a positive impact on their bottom line.
So now, let's talk about business ethics. What is business ethics? Business ethics is the application of the ethical values to business behavior. It is relevant both to the conduct of individual and to the conduct of the organization as a whole. It applies to any and all of the aspects of business conduct, from boardroom strategies and how companies treat their employees, suppliers, sale techniques, and to the accounting practices. By definition, business ethics are the moral principles that act as guidelines for the way a business conducts itself and its transactions. In many ways, the same guidelines that individuals use to conduct themselves in an acceptable way apply to businesses as well. Acting ethically means determining what is right and what is wrong. So, basic standards exist around the world that dictate what is wrong or unethical in terms of business practices. So, business ethics are important for every company. They keep workers safe, help trade and interactions between companies remain honest and fair, and generally make for better goods and services. Distinguishing what a company will and won't stand for is not always the same for each organization, but knowing basic ethical guidelines is a key component of a company management. So, business ethics concerns employees, customers, society, the environment, the shareholders, and stakeholders. Therefore, every business should develop ethical models and practices that guide employees in their actions and ensure they prioritize the interest and welfare of those company.
After we already know what is social responsibility and business ethics, let us now take a look on the difference between the two. Business ethics and social responsibility are often used interchangeably, but there is a distinction between the two terms. Social responsibility is more of a policy or an obligation to the community, while business ethics is more of a conscience. So without social responsibility, the community will not benefit, while without business ethics, business is capitalism at its worst. Social responsibility, it is an initiative to address social issues, while in business ethics, it serves as a guide in their internal and external decision-making, such as code of conduct and laws and regulations.
So in the given comparison, we can see that social responsibility are the acts that should be done to benefit the society, while business ethics is more of a holistic behavior of an individual or the whole organization inside and outside the business.
Corporate social consciousness. Corporate social consciousness are also known as corporate social responsibility. These are the ones that have a purpose beyond profit. Their overarching strategies are not informed solely by top and bottom line revenue growth. They are invested in community which they operate and are committed to driving positive social and environmental change. Corporate social responsibility is an international form of private business self-regulation which aims to contribute to societal goals of philanthropic, activist, or charitable nature by engaging in or supporting volunteering or ethically oriented practices. Corporate social responsibility can help you improve your business performance, increase competitive advantage, and build trust with customers and employees. It can also help you achieve operational cost savings by avoiding costs of wasted energy or unnecessary fees. Perhaps most importantly, corporate social responsibility can give your brand and company a positive image of reputable ethical business. Here are some examples of corporate social responsibility. Corporate responsibility can cut across almost everything your business does. It can involve a range of corporate social responsibility activities such as first, environmental management. Example is waste reduction and sustainability. Next is responsible sourcing. Example is using only fair trade ingredients. Next is improvement of working standards and conditions. Next is contributing to educational and social programs. Next is employee volunteering. Next is social responsible investment. And next is development of employee and community relations. A properly implemented corporate social responsibility concept can bring along a variety of competitive advantages, such as enhanced access to capital in markets, increased sales and profits, operational cost savings, improved productivity and quality, efficient human resource base, improved brand image and reputation, enhanced customer loyalty, better decision making, and risk management processes.
So, we have the various types of corporate social responsibility. Number one is the environmental responsibility. It involves behaving in a manner that shows consideration for the natural environment. Examples of environmentally responsible practices in business include reducing harmful practices such as decreasing pollutions, greenhouse gas emissions, the use of single-use plastic, water consumptions, and general waste. Regulating energy consumptions by increasing reliance on renewables, sustainable resources, and recycled or partially recycled materials. Offsetting the negative environmental impact, for example, by planting trees, funding research, and donating to related causes. Number two is philanthropic responsibility is about making an active effort to uplift society and communities. Examples of philanthropic behavior, it includes the donating of portions of the company's profits to charitable organizations and non-profit or organizing a fundraising for a charity. Ethical responsibility. Ethically responsible businesses operate in an honest, transparent, and ethical manner towards their employees, investors, suppliers, and customers. Ethical considerations involve measure a company takes to ensure that its business practices are fair. Refusing to purchase materials produced by child labor is an example of an ethical corporate social responsibility response. Economic responsibility. Economic responsibility refers to the practice of making financial decisions based on a commitment to doing good. Common examples of economic responsibility include in investing in alternative energy sources,
putting more money into education programs, and funding local charities as a way of bolstering their missions. To uphold economic responsibility, business leaders are challenged to think past operational cost saving, instead put their obligations to corporate citizenship at the heart of all financial decisions.
Now, let's summarize our learnings throughout the discussion. We learned that responsibility is an obligation to perform certain function in order to achieve certain results. The examples of responsibility are personal responsibility, moral responsibility, commitments, social responsibility, accountability. We also discussed the definition of social responsibility and business ethics and the difference between them. Social responsibility is an ethical theory in which individuals are accountable for fulfilling their civic duty, and the actions of an individual must benefit the whole of society. Business ethics is the application of ethical values to business behavior. It is relevant both to the conduct of individuals and to the conduct of the organization as a whole. In the last part, it tackled the functions of corporate social consciousness and its various types. Corporate social consciousness or social conscious business are ones that have a purpose beyond profit. Their overarching techniques aren't knowledgeable entirely be a way of means of pinnacle and bottom line sales growth. The four types of corporate social responsibilities are environmental responsibility. Next is philanthropic responsibility. Next is ethical responsibility. Next is economic responsibility. We are done in summarizing the topics that are being discussed. I hope you guys understand and learn from our discussion. That would be all. Thank you.